I told you, in the United States of America alone, over 65 million people suffer from obesity. While America is only ranked 12th on the global obesity scale, they still somehow manage to outnumber every country by millions. The most obese country in the world is currently Nauru with a 71.1 obesity rate. America outnumbers Nauru because the country itself is small and only has a population of around 12,000. To put this in perspective, America's obesity rate currently stands at 36.2%. In the state of California, obesity is not the most common when compared to other states. America's health ranking reported the obesity rate for males at 26% and females at 25.6%. Unfortunately, children at the less of age of 15 have an obesity rate of 35.3%. As it stands, this number is only 0.3% lower than the national average. Today, I'll be proposing that public schools in the Roseville Joint Unified School District should implement basic food nutrition classes in order to combat childhood obesity. Obesity is when a person's weight, or BMI, becomes too high and carries excess amounts of fat. Also, a doctor must diagnose this condition. For adult females and males, their BMI must be over 30.0. In order to calculate your BMI, you take your weight in kilograms divided by the square height in meters. Doctors use a similar system for children, but instead of taking just your BMI, they compare it to other children's BMI. For example, a 10-year-old boy who's at 56 inches in height and weighs around 102 pounds would have a BMI around 22.9. This would place the boy in the 95th percentile for BMI scale and would be considered obese. Obesity for children is at the 95th percentile and above. The process of becoming obese isn't a night and day difference. The weight gain in most cases is a gradual increase, but unfortunately because it is a long process, it can be hard to spot early signs of obesity. Obesity, of course, carries very heavy consequences. The number one side effect is a decreased life expectancy. However, there are many other problems that arise when a person is obese. Kevin P. Hall found that in his studies, hypertension has become just as common as obesity in today's society. Hypertension is a medical term for high blood pressure. Also, high blood pressure has been linked with heart disease and cancer. Obesity appears to have a stronger association with the occurrence of chronic medical conditions, reduced related quality of life, and increased medical care and medication spending more than the drinking problem or smoking problem would have. Excuse me. Eagle TF with the American Heart Journal observed that income can play a factor in obesity. When income is low, more fried and processed foods are consumed, as well as doing less physical activities. Less physical activities such as video games and laying around the house. The problem with children eating lower processed foods is because of how it's made. It's fried and cheaply made. Studies have also found that high levels of exercise and physical activity have been proven to help lose weight and maintain the weight. However, these results were only accomplished if said person was consistently participating in physical activity. Children, unfortunately, do not have the capacity to consistently exercise at a high level, so they must have alternatives in order to keep the weight off. Children must eat right while also balancing a proper diet of vegetables, grains, dairy, and meat. According to caringforkids.cpa.ca, children should have 3 meals a day and snacks at least 1 to 3 times a day. To make a change in a children's life and health, public schools should have a bigger role. Students spend a day at school and sometimes leave with no physical activity and are eating nothing but processed foods. So in order to combat this, basic food nutrition classes should be implemented. These classes themselves should not be hard and only explain what the students need to know, what foods are good for them and which are not. For example, an easy lesson for the student to learn are what the 6 essential nutrients are and how they affect the human's daily lives. They should also learn how to have a balanced diet of all 3 food categories. Now you might be wondering how can we expect to gain the numbers for a petition and where we would get the money from. Implementing a new class is not an easy process, and if the schools are forced to hire new teachers for the curriculum, it'll be expensive. So to start funding, these new classes can come from either the state, 58%, property taxes and other local sources, 32%, and federal government, 9%. Because the school will need some funding to create these new classes, we have to turn to the government. Per White House petitions, in order for a petition to cross the first threshold, 500 signatures must be completed within the first 30 days. Obtaining 500 signatures may seem like a big number, but with a population of 139,117, Rose will have no problem completing this task. These classes will also require at least 2 to 3 teachers at least to begin working at the school. However, some schools in the district may already have some internally to assign the position. Obesity has become far too deadly and must be taken seriously. While adults can manage their weight and watch their foods they consume, children do not have the same freedoms as adults carry. Both the parents and schools must step up in order to keep our youth healthy and fresh. Schools can help by offering better and healthier food, as well as better physical education. Children have become far too relaxed in today's society. California's child obesity rate stands at just below 35%. Change can happen, but it all starts with schools and parents. If this plan were to work, we will have to see a drop in 5% in under 3 years. 5% may seem something like large to accomplish, but remember, we're not trying to reduce the national average yet.